Hey guys, I'm back with my 1 month 1 palette video for the month of August. Last month I asked you all to vote and see what palette I would use for the month of August, and it was pretty unanimous. Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, which I was really excited about. I wanted to do this one most because to me it seems like a great summer palette, and I hadn't used it real consistently enough to give a good feel of it. So let me go ahead and let you watch the clips and then we'll talk about it. Okay, my first eye look. I haven't done one of these in a while, so I'm a little rusty. I am trying out all the different lid shades. I'll talk about that in my video, but today I'm wearing, I did a mix of Puree and Peaches and Cream for my crease because I think Puree is just a little dark. And then I did caramelized all over my lid. And then what I really like to do is I get this Just Peachy and I go over my crease just a little bit to warm it up. And then I use just a matte brow bone color up here. And then White Peach as my cheek highlight. I think it is a really, really pretty highlight. And that's all. Okay, today's look is my absolute favorite from the palette. It is my go-to. It is so easy. Luscious all over the lid and Candied Peach in the crease. And then I just used a No Name matte brow bone color. Okay, truth be told, I can't remember what I was wearing in the clips, but I will tell you what I'm wearing today, which is one of the looks. It is Bobbi Brown Taupe in the crease, which I will just show you. It's kind of a neutral mid-tone brown. And then I'm wearing Candied Peach, which is the really, really peachy color, all over the lid with just a generic brow bone color, which is the one I wore every day of the palette. It's just from Coastal Scents and it's pretty much used up. And I'll explain that why. Okay, so for this palette, we will go all over the colors like I usually do. White Peach, to me it has kind of a sheen. Now I would use it as a brow bone color. I don't dislike it, but I'm trying to use up that other one. So I did use this a few times, but since I'm trying to use up that, I just used it more. Then the shade Nectar. I don't really like it. I don't like certain, like those really champagne colors that a lot of people put over their lids that are really shimmery. I don't like that. To me, they have to have just a little bit more gold or pink or something. That's just not a shade I use. I used it maybe on my inner corners once, but honestly, it's not a shade I'm going to reach for. Peaches and Cream is a really good kind of above the crease blending out color. It's really, I mean, Peaches and Cream is a good description. It's very skin toned with a little bit of peach. It doesn't have a lot of color. Then Georgia I used as kind of that blending out color more than anything, honestly. Then you have Cobbler, which honestly, to me, this palette is really good for lid shades. Luscious is the most like sheen metallic lid color shade I've probably ever used. And it's a little bit lighter than what I would typically go for, but it was probably one of my favorite colors in this palette. It is such pigmented and shine. It's like the Makeup Geek, you know, those ones that are a little more expensive that she has. What are they called? You know what I'm talking about. It's like that. Okay, and then when I originally looked at the palette, Cobbler, Caramelized, and Bellini looked like the best lid color shades to me. And I ended up, I thought Bellini would be my favorite because it's a little more rose gold. Caramelized is a little more bronze, which I do love. But Cobbler was actually my favorite. It had almost like a duochrome shift on the lid. It's really hard to describe. It was really, really pretty. And then Just Peachy, it was okay. Candied Peach. It is a true coral color with little flecks of kind of a pinky purple glitter. But when it's on the lid, those glitter flecks pretty much disappear. So I treated this as pretty much a matte. And one way I really like to wear this is I would use kind of like a blending out color, and then I would put it just a little bit over it. And something about that just really warmed up the look and the eye, and I really, really liked that. I would slap that on a lot. One of the looks I know I filmed was Luscious with maybe these mixed or something. I don't remember. You just saw the look, and that was one of my go-to looks. Caramelized, like I mentioned, was a really pretty lid shade. This kind of olive green, bless her heart, it wasn't my favorite. One day I wore it on top of another one of these bronzy shades to kind of tone it down a little, because I don't know, I felt like it was just a little too much in my day-to-day life, if you know what I mean. But it's pretty. It's not my favorite. Bellini, it was lovely. Then Puree and Summer Yum. These are what I would think of as the crease shades in the palette, but they were just a little too dark for my personal liking. So more often than not, I would tap my brush in one of these and then in one of these to kind of make a mix for it to be like a perfect crease shade. So to me, the palette, for me, what I like in my skin tone, I really feel like it could have used a little bit more of a shade in between these and these. It was just, it didn't have one light enough. Like the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar, honey, like peanut butter is one of the best crease shades, and peanut butter is quite a bit lighter than this. And then in the regular Too Faced Chocolate Bar, I would go in with Salted Caramel, which is a good bit lighter than that. I can't pick these up to show y'all. So it really could have had a lighter shade, but I did use, I think I used both of these on the lid one day, and I really liked that. I do like a matte reddish brown that's more these shades on the lid occasionally for just a really different look. Now I'm not gonna lie, tempting, looking at the palette, tempting, Delectable, and Talk Derby to me are colors that I'm just not going to use. If it was winter and I was using this palette, I might have tried to do a look with it, but especially Talk Derby to me and Tempting, they're just colors that are going to be really hard to pull off. So I didn't use those. Peach Pit I used a little bit in the outer corner one day, and I do like it. In the wintertime, I would try to put it on the lid. I don't know. It would be a pretty lash, lower lash line color. And then Charmed, I'm sure, I'm listening to my family, I did use on the outer corner of my lid one day, and I really liked it. It's like almost leaning cool tone, dark brown. So I have a few gripes with this palette. I do like it, and I am going to keep it, but it has a lot of really great lid shades. I will say that. I think it could use some better transition shades or like a crease color, because colors like your MAC soft brown and stuff, those are so popular for crease shades, and these had ones that were too light and then too dark. And then the biggest gripe I have with it is the smell. Okay, I love peach scents, absolutely love peach scents, but this is just, it's really fake peach smelling, very synthetic. And opening it every day, I got kind of sick of it, and it was like pretty nauseating to the point where I was getting sick of using the palette because of the scent. It is so strong scented, and I think, well, if you were using anything any day, you'd get sick of it. No. Last year or the year before sometime, I did the Too Faced Chocolate Bar 1 month, 1 palettes, and I'm pretty sure I did them back to back, and I never once got sick of the scent. Matter of fact, when I just opened them to look at them, I was like, I miss that scent. And I used my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer today, and I miss that scent. So I was just looking at something. Like I'm really missing those palettes. I do like that the Sweet Peach, all the shades are the same size, where in these, 2 of the shades are really large, and they're not necessarily the 2 shades that I would love. I have to say, Butter Pecan and Nectar, they're pretty much the same shade. Yeah. So all the palettes have kind of a dud or a shade that you may not like. I don't think I've ever seen a palette that every shade I would like. So overall, I mean, there's only 3 shades that I just will not really use. I can use this occasionally, and even that I'll use some, but there's only 3 that I just won't use. So I do like the palette. One more gripe that I forgot to mention. Sorry, I haven't filmed these 1 month 1 palette videos in so long, so I'm just kind of all over the place. Like, this is as peachy as a look gets. You know, like, I think of Sweet Peach palette and it just seemed like there was just going to be so much peachiness. And honestly, there's only like 2 peachy shades. And this one just, it's not even really that peachy. It's more pink. So that was a little disappointing. I just feel like they could have done a lot more peach. Like, there's 2 kind of purple shades. Actually, there's more purple shades than there are peachy shades. Like, these are all kind of purpley, and it's not a purple palette. So is it worth picking up if it's shades you're gonna wear? Is it like the best palette ever? No, I still like the Chocolate Bar palettes, both of them, better than that. So I don't know. And in case you care, on my lips today, it's one of the YSL Glossy Stains in 27. I think it's like Peach Sericola. It's like a really pretty baby milky peach that goes with the Sweet Peach palette pretty well. Not that y'all cared, but okay. So anyways, next month I decided to pick the palette that probably got the next amount of votes, and it's the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbon palette, which I was kind of wanting to wait for the winter time because it looks more like winter palette to me, but I really wanted to use it next because I haven't used it a ton either. So I'm pretty excited. I have used it a few times. I haven't used it a whole lot. And I got it last year for Christmas, so it really needs to get some good use. And you know, it's funny, because I would have thought this would have been like the palette I loved more than anything. But just looking at this, I think I may like this more. Like, this Almond Truffle is such a better crease color. And even this Mocha one looks like it's going to be better. And that's exciting. And this Divinity is a good Brow Bone shade. So overall, the Black Currant I probably won't use. Dark Truffle maybe sometimes. And the pink ones, I don't know how much use I'll get out of those. But the Earl Grey is actually really pretty. So overall, I am pretty excited about it. So anyways, that's what I'm going to use for the month of September. And that is all for this video, I guess. I hope you weren't disappointed with my review. And hopefully next month I'll be a little more like on top of it and not so scatterbrained, because I feel like I'm definitely scatterbrained in this video. So anyways, that is all. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.